Hey folks, this is Mark Maron and you're listening to Tom Clark's Main Event. All right, do it.
This is Daddy Show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome to the program. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and you are listening to Tom Clark's Main Event. This is episode number 27 of the podcast, and if you are just joining us for the very first time today, we will bid you welcome. Thanks for coming along. For those of you who are joining us again for another repeat visit, we say welcome back. And to all of those involved, we extend to you, as always, the customary laurel and hearty handshake. Thank you for your support. Thanks for reading. And hey, thanks for always being there, Doc. If you get that reference, good for you. All right? As we said, folks, this is number 27. The main event is just churning right along, man. Clicking on all cylinders. We've had several episodes, very many, actually, in the month of July. I might have set a record for myself for the number of episodes in the month of July. This one's actually being recorded in July, but it may not post until August. It's actually just whenever I feel like it, because I like to make you wait. See? I like to make you wait and anticipate. I'm not going to throw down any mad rhymes. You guys can't take it. My style's mad. My style's mad crazy. I don't know how the kids talk. It's something like that. Jive turkey. I don't know where in the world that came from. Okay, enough of the nonsense. Stop laughing. You're gonna make me laugh. And when we both start laughing, when we all start laughing together, I'm just saying, world loves a clown. Okay, and I'm not gonna wear the nose and the big shoes for you. Sorry about that. Okay, so really this time we're moving right along. This time the main event is John Cena and the magic number 16. This particular episode happens to coincide with a piece I wrote on my own blog, which you can find at tomclarkbr.wix.com/blog. More on that later in the program. It was posted on July 22nd, and it's of the same name. Go figure. John Cena and the magic number 16. And the column all has to do with the fact that John Cena is 1-3 count away from tying Ric Flair's record of world championships in the business of professional wrestling. Now, if you're a pro wrestling fan, I assume you are, yes, which is why you clicked on this big ugly mug that you see before you on your phone at the present moment. If you're not a fan, don't know why you're doing here, but welcome anyway. And if you're not a fan, we're going to try to make you into one, okay? But if you are a fan of professional wrestling, you already are very familiar with the number 16. It's one of those numbers that stands out, okay? 21-0 stood out as well. Remember that one? That was broken. Thank you, Brock Lesnar, for ruining our lives. I'm just kidding. That's a whole other podcast, man. But now the number 16, really, if you think about it, it's the last number left. That means anything to anyone, because any pro wrestling fan worth his weight knows what the number 16 represents. It is 16 championships held by Ric Flair. The biggest number of all time of any professional wrestler is 16. There's some other guys that are up there that are close. The last time I checked, I believe that Sting is at 14. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking it's around 12 to 14. Triple H is in there at 12, I believe. I think Orton's around 10 or 12, something like that. So the possibility, and Angle is up there too, as well. He might be 9 or 10. I may not be giving the guy enough credit, who knows. But the possibilities are there for 16 to be reached, but I don't think anyone and maybe it's just me talking. I don't know if anyone's is actually gonna get there besides John. Again, as I said, John is a 3 count away from getting that strap from Seth Rollins. So that's the problem that goes along with this whole idea of John becoming champion again. Okay, because a lot of people don't want to see Seth lose that belt, yours truly included. Why is that? Because we hate John. I'm kidding, John. Nothing but love for you. It's not that. It's just that Seth has done such an incredible job as that company's top heel. And make no mistake about it, Seth Rollins is the top heel in that company. That title just 6 months ago or so belonged to Triple H and his wife. But now, I don't think so. I think Seth is the man. Not only is he the man with the strap, he's the top heel in the company. It's a great combination to have. And really, the last time you had that was who? Honestly, could you say Brock was a top heel in the company? I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I'm going along with that or not. Because when Brock was champion, he wasn't there very often. So how could you call a guy a top heel when he's not even there that much? And he never works, by the way, okay? So calling Brock the top heel of the company when he was champion, I don't know if I'm buying that too much. But for me, my money is on CM Punk. The last time a top heel was the primary title holder was CM Punk. That's true, the Second City Saint. It's interesting, in fact, to draw the parallels between Punk and Rollins. Neither one of those guys would probably be okay with that. Punk wouldn't at all. Punk's at this point, hey, dude, leave my name out of your stupid show. That's okay. It's all right. I completely understand. Totally fine. He's done with the business. I get that. It's not going to stop us from talking about him because a lot of us respect what he did and appreciate his work and appreciate what he left behind. Honestly, I'm just saying. But the parallels between he and Seth number greatly at this point, and they seem to be just getting more and more and more as each week goes by. The title is the least of the number of comparisons between the two. There's several more, and I'll give them to you right now since you asked me. First of all, they both cut their teeth and became stars on the indie circuit. Okay, we know that about both those guys. And Tyler Black, who used to be Seth Rollins, and CM Punk, who used to be, CM Punk. They both came up in the developmental territory of WWE, and they both became stars in their own rights in that area, and then they both jumped to the main roster. They look similar in terms of the hair and the beard and everything, and sort of similar body type, and Punk was more streamlined by the time he left, and Seth is just absolutely ripped, okay? But similar body types, weight and height and all that. And then you have characters which can be very similar. Seth as a babyface, in my opinion, would be CM Punk as a babyface. Maybe not quite as outspoken, maybe that they allowed Punk to be, but I think he'd be right there. I think he'd be very close, in fact, in terms of his attitude and what he says and how he carries himself, presents himself to the crowd and all that stuff. I think it'd be very similar. As heels, again, very similar because the cockiness that the two guys show is just off the charts. And that's good. You want a very confident, cocky, self-absorbed heel who knows he's better than everyone else and is not afraid to tell you about it. See, that's what I like. That's the top heel for me. Anything else is kind of a waste of my time if I'm being straight with you. Okay? I don't care for it. I like the guys that are confident, that are sure of themselves. The gimmicks, Punk's gimmick lent itself to that idea, that notion of, hey, I'm better than everybody else here. I don't even care. Because honestly, Punk was, in the top 5 best workers in that company during the heyday of his run, I should say, from the summer of Punk. 2011 on up until the time he left, actually. He had a few low points here and there, but, especially when he turned heel with Heyman, he really caught on and became the top heel of the company, which is another similarity between he and Rollins, because Rollins is very close to being sort of that guy, as we said, cocky, confident, a little overbearing, hard to be around sometimes because he is so super absorbed and confident in what he can do in the ring and outside the ring and all that. So I mean, Rollins has that, but something Rollins has that Punk's character never had is backup. Punk never really had backup. The only backup Punk ever had was Heyman in a very loose association with the Shield, okay, which he claimed to know nothing about, which was always nice. But, you know, Rollins has the authority backing him up. He has the guy in charge of the program, that's Triple H, and his wife, to back him up at all costs, to always support him, to always be there for him. So, I mean, that's good for him, yes. And honestly, since, you know, the Shield went down in flames at Rollins' hand, and Rollins went on to become the new, you know, de facto face of the company after Orton split from the Authority and all that stuff happened. He sort of, I guess, gave him the boot, kicked him out, literally. Rollins has shined. He's flourished in this role. He is the top heel. He's done so well. And it's not that none of us didn't know he was capable of it. We all knew he was capable of it. But what you need to do is give a guy the opportunity. Guys need a spotlight. They can't prove anything to you. You always hear that story about, well, he needs to prove himself. He needs to show that he can carry the ball. How can he do anything if you don't let him? It's sort of like, you know, when you're like preteen or early teenager and you're trying to get a credit card. You don't have credit. They're not going to give you a credit card, see? But how can I get credit if I don't have a credit card? Can't get credit if you don't build credit. It's sort of the same idea in my opinion. How are you going to know what a guy's capable of until you give him a chance? You can't just sit back on a guess. You can't sit back on what happened on the indie circuit 2 years ago. Just like you can't go off the fact that, oh, he was a star on the indie circuit. He'll be a star here. Ha ha ha. Doesn't always work that way. Chris Hero. And maybe that's not very fair, okay? I'm just throwing it out there to you. There's been plenty of guys that were big on the indie circuit that couldn't draw flies in WWE. I mean, it's entirely possible that Seth Rollins could have crashed and burned. But the difference between Seth and Punk and some other guys is that they just get it. Seth is not the best talker in the business. Punk is, or was, in my opinion. Seth's not the best talker in the business, but he knows what to say. And he knows how to say it. And that's all that matters. That's really what you need. You have to believe in your words. And when Seth stands there and talks about he's the best, he deserves the championship, that he's the face of the company. You know, anyone can say that the first couple promos in. But by this point, I think people are actually buying into that because Seth believes it so much. His character is so arrogant. His character is so self-absorbed. His character is so convinced that you don't have a clue what you're talking about because he's the answer to all your problems in terms of the next big thing. That's him. No one else even comes close. Love the arrogance. I love me some heels, man. I always have. Good heel makes the world go around, especially in pro wrestling. If you've got top heels, good, credible, viable heels, hated heels, guys who would, you know, steal from their own mother if they had to and push the kid off the bike going down the street because he got in his way. That's a heel, man. Nothing redeeming about him. I'm so tired of cool heels. I'm so sick of guys that have to play the crowd. They don't work the crowd like they used to. They don't badmouth fans. They just kind of stand there and look at them and put their arms up like they're soaking it in. Dude, you're killing me with that nonsense. WWE's to blame for that. Okay, but some of the blame goes on the shoulders of the heels in question. Make me hate you. Make me hate you. We covered a lot of this in episode 25, I think it was, character in pro wrestling. It might have been 24. Go back and look. It's right there on your phone or your iPad or your mobile device. Whatever you have, man, okay? But character is very important. You got to make me believe. And at this point, I believe in Seth Rollins. I do. I mean, I've bought in, as the T-shirts say. I've bought in. But Seth is very good at what he does. And again, it reminds me of Punk. The connections are there. He can be outspoken. He's kind of straight to the point. He's no frills in the ring. What he does is very entertaining. But he doesn't showboat. He doesn't need to showboat. He's not posing and flexing his muscles. He's not picking up the mic in the middle of the match and cutting a promo because he's trying to waste some time and burn the minutes up that he's been allotted for his match. Stuff like that doesn't happen. When they ring the bell, he goes to work, okay? Which is what a good pro wrestler should do. When they ring the bell, ding, ding, go to work. That's it. Let's do this. I'm tired of listening to you talk. And it works out great. Seth does very good on the mic. He's killing it in the ring. In my opinion, Seth's the best hand in the company at this point. And, you know, not when Daniel's healthy. When Daniel's healthy, he's the best hand on the card, bar none. Okay? Let's be straight about it. William Regal's great. You got all the respect in the world for Regal. Regal does not work anymore. If he did, Regal's the best in the company. Just saying. He can lock anybody up, put them on their back, make them tap out. He's done it before, okay? But I'm happy with Seth. I'm happy with his development. I like where he's at. I like what they've done with him. There's not a whole lot of negativity I have to say about Seth in the situation. I think everything's working along, just clicking on all cylinders, just doing great, and I'm happy with it. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's top heel. How can you be upset about that? How can you not like the guy being top heel? All right, because he's broken out of his mold of the Shield. He's become his own man. The Shield, much like sidebar, by the way, the Shield, much like Evolution, was created to implode. To quote JR, thank you, Mr. Ross. But it was created to implode. Okay? And the end result was to create new stars. That's what it was all about. The Shield was there to create new stars. We had fun along the way. Okay, the ride that the Shield took us on was a blast. We can all agree on that. But the fact is that it was created, the entire stable was created just to get over the three guys in it. Get them over single stars. It's worked pretty well. Well, sort of for Roman, but it's worked like gangbusters for Dean. And it's worked even better for Seth. Why? Because Seth's your champion. Have we forgotten? Hence the reason I've gone off on a rant about Seth. But at this point, getting back on track here, I don't want to see Seth lose the belt. I like the fact that Seth took a title run which very closely resembled Chris Jericho's Undisputed Championship run, in which he beat Austin and The Rock on the same night on pay-per-view, and then just barely escaped with his title by the skin of his teeth every time he competed. And after a while, in my opinion, he began to look weak because of it. We all knew the joke. We all knew that it was all storyline. They're trying to make him look like that because he's a smarmy heel who doesn't work hard enough to win a match straight up, and this, that, and the other. And he's facing all these competitions so much bigger and better than he is. All this talent and experience in the world and all this stuff. And then here's a little Chris Jericho who can't keep up. So I get where they were going with it. Don't misunderstand me here. I'm just saying, a couple months into this thing, I'm thinking, wow, this is it. Throw him a bone, man. Have him actually win straight up. Don't stop doing this stuff where he's running away and all this. But you know what? I got to be honest with you. Heels cheat to win. And we have lost sight of that. We haven't. That company has, however. Okay? Heels cheat to win. That's what's important. Just like a babyface wouldn't dare consider breaking the rules, a heel shouldn't dare consider not breaking the rules. The minute the bell rings, and before, he should be, landscaping the ring, taking a look at it, sizing up his opponent, seeing where the closest chairs are, seeing how close the ring bell is to the table or on the table, they can grab it, doing everything in his power to assess the situation and determine how he can cheat to win the match. Don't have had enough, man. Back in the day, in the 80s, it happened all the time. Trust me, I know, I watched it, okay? Happened all the time. Heels cheat to win. I love that. That's what they should do, okay? But again, after a while with Chris, it really started to truly feel like he was never going to be able to get it done on his own. Now, fast forward to Seth Rollins. In my opinion, his title run started off much in the same way that Chris Jericho's Undisputed title run did, where everyone, and myself included, thought it was going to be a tough sell, hard sell in many ways, and it was perhaps in the very beginning, until Seth started wrestling matches, and then suddenly everyone realized, along with all those doubters out there who said don't get him the belt, everyone realized, wow, this kid is really good. Like, just forget Dean and Roman for a minute. Seth is not only good, he can stand on his own all day and all night, twice on Sunday. He's got this. Seth is that good, man. He's that talented. He's that credible in the ring. He's believable. His character is believable. You see what I'm saying right now? And it works on every level. Seth kills it every time he gets in the ring. He really does. Okay, so he's come a long way. He's coming to his own, no doubt about it. But that's why I believe it'd be a terrible idea to take that strap off him right now. And especially giving it to John. Now, here's the part where people get ticked off. Because anyone who likes John, or is just kind of okay to him, they all defend him exactly the same way. Look, Tom, he's a top guy. It's not his fault he doesn't work like Punk did. It's not his fault he doesn't work like Rollins did. You know, that's not his job description to do that. Did you like that? Come on, man. Is that the job description, by the way, that we gave Cena now? We give him a pass for not being the wrestler that Punk was, for not being the wrestler that Rollins is. Is that what we're saying? That we've allowed 10 plus years of being told that he's tough as nails and he'll fight, I'll never back down, never give up, I'll never surrender. Same John Cena promo all the time, every time he's on TV. Have we used that as an excuse and gave him a pass on the fact that he doesn't wrestle like Seth? Now, am I saying he has to be a clone of anybody? Never said that. What I am saying is get it done in the ring. And I think John does what John does. I don't know if I would classify as being a great pro wrestler. I don't think I would ever classify as being a great pro wrestler. John's been doing the same shtick for 10 plus years. He's not going to change for you. He's certainly not going to change for me. He's going to do what he does. He's going to be John to the day he hangs up his shoes. I was going to say boots. And then moves on with the rest of his life. Or comes back and he's general manager. He comes back and he's co-owner. And he comes back and he's ringing the bell. Comes back and he's ring announcing. It may never end with John. Hope you like him. He's not going anywhere. But does he get a pass? It's a fair question, isn't it? Just because his gimmick and his style is not what other guys are, does he get a pass for not being a technician? Hey, I'm asking, man, what do you think? What are you thinking about that? Does he get a pass? To a lot of people, he doesn't get a pass. He'll never get a pass. Okay? The fact is, he's been in that role for X number of years. 10, was it 10? Well, I think it's going on 13 years now, right? But he's been in the company for that long. He knows how to wrestle. If he didn't know how to wrestle, they never would have sent him up through OVW the way they did. The dude evidently knows how to physically wrestle and wrestle on the mat and chain wrestle and all that. But he doesn't do it. And therein lies the problem. Because people make excuses for Cena all the time. He doesn't want to work. He doesn't want to work, right? He doesn't want to try hard. And he doesn't have to because he's the top guy. He's made his money. He's making more. He's the top guy and do whatever he wants. WWE makes their money because of John Cena. Can we all agree on that? Is he lazy in the ring? That's up for you to decide, man. It's up for you to figure out. Seriously. I can only tell you what I see, and there's matches it seems like, number one, he doesn't sell much. Okay? Number two, when he does sell, it lasts for all of 20 seconds, and he pops right back up, hits the attitude adjustments all over. New champion. So that's what we're coming to right now with he and Seth. Because, folks, John's getting that belt back. You all know this, right? You all know the moment that John lost it to Brock, it was only a matter of time. Clock started ticking the moment he lost it to Brock. Guess what? He's going to be champion. Seriously. He's going to be. He's going to get it again. Why? How do we know this? Because he's got a pulse. He's got a pulse. He's still there, man. He's going to be champion. He's going to tie the record set by Ric Flair. How much of a big deal is this for you? That's the thrust of this program right now is who cares about it? I know we all care about it. We all have got to have an opinion of it. Don't tell me you're indifferent to it. If you're indifferent to it, geez Louise, pick a side, man. Seriously. Ridiculous right now. But what side do you fall on with this? Do you want to see him have the belt back? He's going to get it back. Newsflash, he's getting the belt back. Again, top guy. Top guy often equals top title holder, okay? And there's only X number of guys in that company right now that's working presently they would trust that belt. He's one of them. Taker's one of them. Hunter, who's not going to be wrestling again. Randy's one of them. Punk was one of them. The guys, they're right there. They're right there. They're Cena's immediate supporting cast, which, by the way, is dwindling more and more every day now, okay? Because while Joe looks good on NXT, Finn Balor's the entrance and all that stuff looks good, and Sami Zayn will be back soon, and they're doing what they're doing with Hideo and all that. Until those guys really make the break and come through and hit the roster big time and go full time, you don't know what's going to happen. Okay? You don't know what's going to happen, and your number of guys to actually hold the championship is very, very limited right now. And many people think that John is the best option. John's best option is guaranteed ratings every time. Seth's not. Punk wasn't. No disrespect to Punk. But John is guaranteed ratings every single time. Okay? And you know he's going to get that belt back. How do you feel about John tying the record number 16 championships? Okay, here it is from my perspective. Are you ready for this? All right, here we go. I meditated on this morning. It's good stuff. John Cena is the man in the company. We know this. How he compares to Ric Flair is like apples and oranges. Number one, the ring style is very different. Okay, obviously. John does what he does. Rick can do everything. So the ring style is very different. No disrespect intended to Cena. Just saying. Very, very different. John would agree with that totally. Okay. But the other part of it is that the NWA World Heavyweight Championship was voted on by the NWA Board of Directors. This was a group of promoters from all across the country where the NWA ran events, and they had their own little separate territories, and they would have to get together and vote on who was going to be the champion. It's how Dusty got it. It's how Jack Briscoe got it. And that is how other guys through the history of that company got the championship. Seriously, Dory Funk, Terry Funk, just saying. Okay? It was voted on. Flair was voted on. And you can feel free to Google the numbers if you want, but I'm just saying. 3 of the championships he held were for WWE. That means that leaves the other 13 for NWA/WCW. So for the most part, NWA are the ones calling the shots on how many times Flair got the belt. Why is that? Exactly. Why is that? Because Flair was the top draw. Because when you took a look around the NWA locker room, you saw a lot of veterans, or a lot of talents, a lot of great guys, a lot of great workers, some of the best workers in the history of the business I've ever seen, dude. You know what I'm saying? Wahoo, Arn and Tully, Dusty Rhodes. List goes on and on and on. Great workers, but only one Ric Flair. Only one guy to carry the banner for the company. The standard bearer. Seriously, that was Flair, man. Flair could make the most money for the NWA, for Jim Crockett Promotions. Hence, he got the belt. That's it, and that's all. Amen. Good night. See you tomorrow. That's it. There's no other way to put it, man. When Flair didn't have the belt, ratings were affected. Ticket sales were affected. When he got the belt, bam, right back on top again. Now, is that the same situation as NWA right now? Absolutely not. There are no board of directors of WWE voting on who gets the belt. Guess who decides? It's Vince. That's it. Shut up. Shut up. Don't talk to me about Hunter or his wife. I don't want to hear it. It's Vince's call. If he doesn't want the guy to be champ, guess what? Pfft, belt's gone. No more belt for you. No belt for you. Go away now. Go home. Isn't that something? It's the truth. It's Vince's call. It's his company. Okay? And again, Cena's a top money earner. Period. That belt's coming back around Cena's waist. They've already fired the shots on Monday Night Raw. Cena came out and got in Seth's face. Was it twice now? You know, finally laid hands to each other and Cena put him down for the count and all this. But here's the thing. As far as John becoming the 16th time, or world champion for the 16th time, a lot of people are losing their mind. Can we agree on that? And I see where they're coming from. I do. I can understand where the frustration lies. No one wants to see the number 16 met or tied and or broken. No one. Because Flair is so respected. Flair is so loved. Flair did it all the hard way. Okay? The belt wasn't handed to him. The company built itself around him. The belt was given to him, and Flair built the company along with himself. Okay? Fair to say? But John Cena is much different because why? Because that belt, whenever he's got the belt, has been handed to him. A lot different, man. Here's the belt, John. Good luck. Make money for us. Don't lose any. Okay? So the first inclination that people have, as in fans, are to look at that and say, well, John didn't earn it. It was just handed to him. Tom just said it. I listen to the main event. Tom's smart. He's there to educate, entertain, inform, and enlighten. Which I am. Thanks for noticing. Appreciate it. Love you. Mean it. So Tom said it, so it must be true. John didn't earn it. Slow your roll, partner. Slow your roll, man. I never said that. I never said John didn't earn a thing. John busts his hump all the time. That talk about, I'm the first one in, last guy to leave. John always likes to remind you of who he is, by the way. It's something that the big-time stars do. Flair did the same thing. reminds you of who he is, except John's babyface and he does it. Shut up, he's not heel. He's not some bizarre world heel. All that crap just needs to stop. Whoever's saying that junk, knock it off. It's ridiculous. He's still babyface, man. He's the top guy in the company. He's still babyface. That's it. Okay? But he talks about himself all the time. It's the truth, actually. First guy in, last guy to leave. Usually outworks a lot of his opponents, most of his opponents. I'm not saying all. Not saying all. But he outworks the guys. He does. Okay? And is he handed the belt? You have to remember something, man. From the moment that Vince McMahon Sr. split from the aforementioned NWA and started the Worldwide Wrestling Federation and created his own championship and said, well, guess what? This belt is not affiliated with NWA. It's its own separate championship. From that point on, Vince Sr. decided who got it, and then Vince Jr. That's it. No board of directors, no vote happening, no, well, you listen, Flair's good in my territory, this guy's good, you see what I'm saying? So I need him to boost ticket sales, I need him to work this guy. No. One guy decides that that's it. So if you're going to get mad at WWE for that, then get mad because Hogan had it, get mad because Shawn had it, because Bret had it, get mad because all these different guys had it, man. But don't get upset at John for that. That's the system he's involved in. That's the system that he's been running and working, and that's been working for him for almost, what is it, been 13 years now? John's been in that company and been top dog for 10 plus years, going on, I think, 11 or 12, whatever it is now. But that's the system that's been working for John. I mean, period, dude. And because the belt is awarded the way it is to the guy in that company does not mean he didn't do anything to get it. So whatever you got in your head, get that out. It's not true, okay? We've seen instances in the past where guys maybe shouldn't have had the title, and you're sitting back thinking, what are you doing, WWE? But you can't say that with John. What you can say is, oh my God, John got it again. Jeez. You can say that all day long because I'm probably going to do it myself. Here's the problem. For those of you out there that don't want John to have the belt. Here's the problem. He's a top guy. Ratings have been in the toilet. Guess what happens when you put the belt back on John? Bam, ratings go up. Just saying. Okay? Ratings will go up. Guaranteed. Guaranteed they'll go up. Because of all the guys in that company, as I said before, there's only a handful that can be trusted to do what needs to be done with that title. And John's the top dog, man. He always has been. For a long time now. The title will always revert back to John. For better or worse, no matter what anyone says about it. As long as John Cena is on active roster, that belt belongs to him. And anyone can hold it for however long they want to. I'm just saying. Punk held it 441 days. My facts are a little unclear there, folks. My apologies. But it was a record number of days, of course. But here it is. It doesn't matter who held the belt. Seth's doing a bang-up job. Does it matter? Not in the long run. That belt still belongs to John. And yes, it will be coming back to John Cena. But again, how do you feel about this? John Cena tying the record number 16, which none of us, yours truly included, ever thought he would ever see. Ric Flair's record being tied and then broken. I said it. Want to know why? Because John will retire from WWE from the active roster with no less than 20 championships. Doesn't it take you off, man? It does, right? I'm just being straight. This is what I think. I think he's got 5 more title runs in him. Do I think he'll hit 20? I do. Do I believe it'll happen? I don't know. Time's ticking. Time's ticking for him. He's in great shape. He's in good health. All that's fine. But, he's going to have opportunities from Hollywood because of train wreck, and things are going to be happening for him. He's getting older, like we all are. So, things are going to happen for him there, too, in terms of maybe slowing down eventually. And you've got other guys coming up. NXT guys are coming up. There's possibilities for the future, as Seth always likes to say. And by the way, let's don't forget Seth. He's still the guy with the title saying, dude, what's up? Why are you talking about John? I've got the belt, man. Okay? But I do see John tying and then breaking Flair's record. If it were me, it would be an honor to break his record. At the same time, I wouldn't want anything to do with it. It's like, dude, that's Ric Flair. And you know, Rick is a big fan of John's. You know this, right? Go read his book, read every interview, listen to every interview he ever gave. We're seeing his name has come up, and Flair's got nothing great things to say about him. So much for what you know, huh? Smarty pants. Me too, I guess. But Flair's the authority, man. He needs to be. He always has been. I mean, really. I mean, he's the man. It's like not listening to Jordan. What, you're not going to listen to Jordan? Are you kidding me right now? He's the authority. He's the guy. Okay? He's a dog. He is, and Flair is too. He always has been. But when John gets the belt, and he will, I believe, whether it's going to be a SummerSlam or not, and honestly, that match, as of this podcast, whenever this thing gets to air, as of this moment, John versus Seth is not booked for the WWE Heavyweight Championship SummerSlam. Okay, August 23rd. But if that match is booked and John wins, then expect that next Monday night for Ric Flair to be in the ring with the championship belt and like in a glass trophy or maybe around over his shoulder or something. And he presents it to John and says, John, I couldn't think of a better guy to tie my record. Congratulations. Have fun. And he'll strut around the ring, maybe take his coat off and elbow drop it. It's only he can do, right? I think they'll make a big deal out of it, and they should, because 16 is a big number. It's the magic number, 16. John Cena winning the championship for 16th time destroys it for a lot of fans. I grew up watching the NWA. I was an NWA kid, as I've said many times in the podcast here before. I grew up watching Rick versus Dusty. I watched the Express teams take each other on. Wahoo, Magnum, Nikita, the Horsemen, of course, and everyone else included. NWA was my wrestling. Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling was the best on the planet. Jim Crockett was the best promoter. They had the best stars. They had the best matches, everything. No one could touch them, including the WWF, which was nothing but a circus. Okay? So Flair should be involved. It would mean a lot to people. It means a lot to people that John's going to beat the record and they're ticked off at him. What are you supposed to do if you're John? Say, I don't want it? It's the top prize in the entire industry. Of course you want it. You know that you can do the right thing with it. You know you can make some money with it. At the end of the day, it's all about making money. Don't get upset about that. I love Flair. I love what he contributed. Go ask Flair what it was about when he was champion. If he says anything other than making money, he's lying. Flair left behind a fantastic legacy. I'm not trying to belittle anything. I'm a huge fan of his. He's one of my top guys of all time. He's the top guy of all time as well. Anyone out there who wants to throw Shawn Michaels' name in the hat for best wrestler of all time, go ahead and have fun with it. Ric Flair's the best wrestler of all time. Okay? Bar none. I'm sorry. It just, and I know there's other guys out there that maybe are more technically sound in the ring. Guys competing today, like Angle. You can make the case for best wrestler of all time. But when you talk about best wrestler in terms of technique, promo work, character, personality, getting over, making money, Flair's it. Flair's the LOD of singles wrestling. The greatest there is. That's it. Okay? So a lot of people are upset that his record is going to be tied and then broken. It's a business. We all like to use the terminology that the boys in the locker room use, and one of those words is business. But yet we forget what the word business really means. What's it mean? Huh? The company is selling a product and is trying to make money. That's what WWE is, man. They're just trying to make money. Seriously. They're trying to sell out as many arenas as they can, sell as much merch as they can, get as many new subscribers to the network as they can, make some money. I'm tongue-tied. That's how exciting this is. That's how intense it is, man. WWE is there to make money, turn a profit. That's what it's all about, dude. Turn a profit. They could turn a profit with John Cena. Period. That's why he's still a top guy, man. That's why Punk didn't replace him. Although, when it came out that Punk outsold John on merchandise, that didn't come out recently. That came out when Punk was during the summer of Punk. He outsold John on merchandise. The move could have been made then to make Punk the top guy and John the top heel. But, of course, it didn't happen. Hindsight 2020 would have been fun to watch, man. Interesting to watch for sure. Never happened. Never will. Oh, well. Sari. Right? But it's a business. We use that word. That's what it is. Turn a profit. John can turn a profit. He will turn a profit when he gets the belt back, and he's going to get it back. 16 times World Heavyweight Champion. Here's the shame of it for a lot of folks, and I'll admit I'm part of this crew as well, part of this mindset too, I got to tell you. The number 16 is reserved for Ric Flair. That's it. No one else, period. But as soon as John ties it, that title is reserved for Flair, asterisk, ... Cena. Because he's going to be right there. 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, John Cena. Huge number, right? Never thought we'd see it again in our business. But here's the thing. Again, that belt's given by one guy to one guy. It's not spread around among different territories and spread around among different promoters who have different interests and different ways they do business in their own territories and different spotlight different guys that they feature in main event matches. Their hometown boys that they feature. They want them to look good. They make them work Flair. Because Flair will give as good as he gets. He always has, man. Make their boy look like $1 million. So even though Flair cheats to win, maybe that crowd will come back next week to see their hometown boy who almost beat the champ last week. Okay? That's a big deal, man. Flair traveled the world as NWA World Heavyweight Champion. The belt wasn't given out by one guy. Okay? NWA Board of Directors, as we said before. It's a big thing. So if you're Cena, you don't apologize for anything. You don't apologize for who you are, for getting the 16th championship. You don't apologize for nothing. Not for nothing. It could be crazy. Don't apologize for nothing. John, if you listen, don't apologize for nothing. Don't listen to what I'm saying or anyone else is saying about you shouldn't have the belt. Don't apologize for nothing. Why is that? Why would I say that to you after having heavily criticized John in the past? Because at the end of the day, I want the business to succeed. My kid's 6. I'd rather the business be here alive and well when he's 60. I'm serious. I want the business to thrive. That means these guys have to make as much money as they possibly can. When they make money, the company's making money. That's good. The company becomes more stable. Okay? More fans are brought in. You have more fun. Opportunities are there for them to spend more money on other projects, maybe on some other guys. Make the best show possible. It's very important, man. I want these guys to do well. It's the truth. John's one of them. John's doing really well, actually. But that company needs to survive. I mean, if you want pro wrestling as you know it today, you got to be pulling for the guys that can get them there, and John's one of them, at least for right now, until someone better comes along, if someone ever does come along that's better than him. I do have some reservations and mixed emotions. I got to be honest with you. Again, I grew up watching Flair. I grew up an NWA kid, and I still appreciate and love Jim Crockett Promotions. Some of the best memories of my life are watching pro wrestling. In fact, my earliest childhood memory is of watching pro wrestling with my dad. We went to somewhere, I was probably about 3.5. Went somewhere to watch pro wrestling. It could have been a high school gym, could have been a National Guard Armory, somewhere like that. But I remember being a good ways back from the ring. And I remember 2 things. Ric Flair's robe and Wahoo McDaniel's headdress. And I remember having just the best time of my life. Okay? That's what I grew up with. That's what I love and still love about the NWA. That connection that you have as a kid to this point right now. It's awesome stuff, man. It really is. I have mixed emotions about seeing someone come along and just wreck the record. Say that fast 3 times, man. Wreck the record held by Flair. Seriously. I have mixed emotions about that. It's a really big deal, man. I don't begrudge John Cena anything he has. Big house, fancy cars, all that stuff. Doesn't make a difference to me. I'm glad he's been successful. I don't begrudge John the next championship. I don't. It will be a little heartbreaking to see Flair's record matched. It's going to happen. Number 16, man. It's a big deal, right? Because I don't think anyone's going to match it after John. And if they do, it's going to be a long time. That's just me talking here. I don't know. But I don't think anybody's going to match it or beat it, of course. I think John is it. I think it's being reserved. It's being held for John. I think that belt's coming back to him, and that's just how it is. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. I'm turning into one of those guys, aren't I? Hey, if you don't like it, man, I was going to turn the channel. It's true. You're not going to. You're a fan like I am. I'm not going to turn the channel either. Don't go anywhere. Let's watch and have fun together. Have some popcorn. Just saying. But the day's going to come when John gets that belt. Is it going to be SummerSlam? SummerSlam's going to be big, man. It's 4 hours long this year. They're going to hype this thing and promote it like they did WrestleMania every year. It's going to be nuts, okay? 4 hours of entertainment. Can you handle 4 hours of SummerSlam? They're going to get the card a little bit stronger, man. Right now they got Undertaker versus the Beast, Brock Lesnar. Part 2. Well, it's more than part 2, but you know what I mean. Part 2 of this current rivalry, I guess. They better have some more than that. They got to have that title up there. You got to have the title up there. WWE World Heavyweight Championship. How? Well, put it against John. Have John go over. That's my issue here, is that John's going to go over and get that belt. And again, I don't begrudge it to John. Are you listening to me? I don't begrudge it to John at all. But I do hate it for Seth, if only for Seth. While it's true you don't need the belt to get over, or a belt to get over, you have to work to get over. It's up to you to make it work. I agree with all that stuff. Seth has done a fantastic job as a top heel and as WWE World Heavyweight Champion. All that stuff from the Authority aside, and or included, does make a difference. Seth has really come into his own. His character is off the charts. He's just so hateable. He's just a loathsome individual. You just want to smack him. Like, dude. It's like that cousin that's a jerk that you don't want to see at the family reunion. You see him coming a mile away, like down the driveway. Oh, dude, Seth's here. Oh. That's good stuff, man. It's true. You just hate that guy. Yeah, hide the fine china. Seth's here. So, where's my girlfriend? Honey, go hide in the car. Seth's here. He's going to hit on you. I know he is. He's a jerk. But that's it. Seth Rollins, the jerk, will lose the championship belt. I hate it for him because, again, he's done such a bang-up job with it. The purpose of this particular episode is to bring you down, make you hate the business. I'm kidding. It's terrible, right? No, the purpose of this was just to prepare you. No one's talking about this, man. I like being the guy that talks about stuff no one's talking about and then it comes out later. Then everyone takes credit for having written the best column ever on that subject. By the way, the best column ever written on that subject, you're going to find at tomclarkbr.wix.com/blog, published on July 22nd, called John Cena and the Magic Number 16. There you are. There you are. There you be. There you go. I'm not smarmy and overconfident. I'm not Seth. I just know when something's good. I'm just saying. But no, it's going to happen. Be prepared. This is your warning shot, man. I'm Paul Revere. Okay? The sneakers are coming. It's John. Oh my God. The jorts are coming. So, John's getting the belt. Imagine number 16. Isn't that something? Jeez. The more I think about it, the more I talk about it, the more I debate it with colleagues, the more I debate it with friends and family and whatnot, the more I sit back and say, I can't believe it's actually here. I can't believe that in my lifetime I've seen, or I will see in my lifetime, two different guys reach the World Heavyweight Championship 16 times. How many people can say that? Time's ticking away, man. New fans come on board all the time. Younger fans. Fans that have never seen Flair defend the championship their entire lives. You got to watch it on the network. They never got a chance to see him live. Oh, got to watch it on the network. That's a shame, man. It's like saying you never got to see Jordan play. One of my biggest regrets in life is not being able to see Jordan play. But I can say I got to see Ric Flair in his prime. Good stuff. That's really great stuff, man. That's what it's all about right there. That's what it's all about. We forget and lose sight of what pro wrestling is because of people like me that write and analyze it and just pick it apart and just drive you crazy with it. By the way, thanks for reading. And thanks to some other guys out there who don't know what they're talking about, and you feel the need to correct them because they're morons, because they should never have started writing to begin with. You take a combination of all that stuff, along with dirt sheets and spoilers, and the business has been ruined for a lot of fans. We've lost sight of what it's about. We think it's about rushing to the latest dirt sheet for Monday morning to see what's going to happen to Raw that night. I don't want to do that. I want to be surprised, dude. So it's all about having fun, be entertained. We have missed the point of what pro wrestling is anymore. Have fun, be entertained. Have fun with the show. Enjoy it. I still do. Don't hate. I'm just saying. I still do have fun with it. I always will. But, I'm paid to give analysis, which is what I'm doing now. So there you are. But, I'm always going to love the business. I'm always going to be a fan. That's it, man. They got me for life. That's it. They could do the dumbest thing you've ever seen. They have done the dumbest thing you've ever seen. Try Rosie versus Trump. Oh God, kill me now, right? Roughest thing you ever saw. Worst thing you ever saw. I'm still there, man. Still there. I'm with Lucha. I watch TNA Ring of Honor as much as I can. Okay? I want the wrestling to exist and to succeed. What that means for WWE in the short term, John's got to get that belt back. What it means for the long term, they got to cultivate their new stars. They got to get guys ready to get to that point. They got Seth ready and they got him there. Who else is next after him? Dean, perhaps? Roman? Is Roman finally going to win that belt, dude? Who knows? But John Cena is going to be the man again. This is fair warning. The warning shot's been fired. Number 16, man. Number 16. Holy cow, dude. 16 World Heavyweight Championships to his credit, John Cena. Tying Ric Flair's record. Get ready, folks. It's coming. I don't know if it's going to happen to SummerSlam. It may not. But all signs point to a major confrontation, maybe even a stipulation match, some kind of gimmick match to get these guys over. And maybe even to make it so Seth doesn't have to technically drop the pin. You see what I'm saying? That there's outside interference. He somehow gets mixed up in it in the chaos and John rolls him up or whatever it is. Just so Seth doesn't have to look very weak. You don't want to take the guy that just spent all these several past months getting over as your top heel and doing a great job as your title holder and then just jerk the rug out from underneath him. He didn't do anything wrong. He doesn't deserve that. You see what I'm saying? Seth deserves as much great stuff as he can possibly get, and that means being World Heavyweight Champion. He's doing a great job. Why take it away from him now? Again, ratings is probably going to dictate what happens at SummerSlam. Here's hoping that SummerSlam is big. The build-up to SummerSlam is big. I like big stuff in the business. I'm just throwing it out there to you, man. I hope the event's good, and I hope it's fun to watch. I want to have fun. How about you? You going to have fun when John wins the belt for the 16th time? The logistics of it are a nightmare for many fans. Again, guys like me who grew up watching Rick and love Rick, still do. Okay? The thoughts of anyone tying and breaking his record are terrible. And it's nothing against John. I don't have anything personal against John. A lot of people do. I'm fine with him. Me and him are good. We don't get to hang out that much. But we're good. But, again, 16th time being champion. What a major thing that is. All right? So that's it, folks. That's all I got for you. What are you thinking about this? What are your thoughts on the column I wrote? Please let me know. What are your thoughts about this particular subject matter? I've gotten some nice emails here lately from folks who are reading and or listening and or both. So I do appreciate that. Thank you for your time as always. It's very cool to get feedback and to debate and discuss this stuff with you, man. I love the business. Always have, always will. What's your thoughts on John Cena winning the strap for the 16th time, man? What are you thinking about that? It's good stuff, right? Or maybe not. So, this has been fun for me, man. I'm trying to be a little bit more laid back. I've been told I'm a little too stiff at times, perhaps. I'm a fun guy, if you don't know me. Maybe we can hang out sometime. I'll call you. So, look me up on Twitter if you'd like. Tom Clark BR. Give me a shout. I'll follow you back. We can be Twitter buddies. That'll be fun stuff, right? If you want to drop me an email, you can find me on Yahoo, TomClarkBR at yahoo.com. Okay? You can also find me on Tumblr, no fanfic allowed, please. Also on Pinterest. If you want to look me up there, that's cool. And the show finally has its own official Facebook page. Tom Clark's Main Event, dude. Go look me up. I'm there in all my black and white glory. You can find links to the episodes on there. And as always, of course, as you know, if you're listening to us right now, you found us somewhere, whether it's iTunes or Google Play or Windows Phone or Amazon Android, or just at tomclarksmainevent.libsyn.com. Man, dude, I'm everywhere. I'm multitasking here, man. What do you want to do? And, of course, if you want to read my stuff, it's always greatly appreciated. You can find me, as always, on Bleacher Report, as well as the highly esteemed Camel Clutch blog, and, yes, my own blog, tomclarkbr.wix.com/blog. All right, man, I've had fun. Hope you have too. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. I do appreciate it. The 1-year anniversary of the show, by the time you listen to this, is probably already upon us. I started in August of 2014. Had a blast so far, and can't wait for that show. We're going to have some special guests on. I've been threatening to do that for a year. Haven't done it yet. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks again, man, for your time, for your patience. Thanks for listening. Thanks for having fun. Thanks for hanging out. For all you people out there, I do appreciate it. Please send me your comments, questions, thoughts, words of wisdom. Let me know what you think. Let's talk and hang out, dude. I'm all for it. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you next time on Tom Clark's Main Event.